welcome to AER Int channel, and on this occasion, let's continue to learn together about surface modeling. Welcome back to the course. In the last video, we had a look at the delete face feature. There's also quite a similar tool that can be used in all kinds of modeling, and it's also very useful, and that's called the move face tool. So just make this a simple file, just a simple bracket, maybe it's a sheet metal bracket, but let's say we've imported it from something like a step file. So we don't have access to any of the features, so we can't edit the features directly. So if we want to make fairly simple changes to this model, then it won't be that easy really. But thankfully we can use the move face feature to simplify these changes. Now you won't find the move face tool on the surfaces toolbar. It's actually in the insert menu. So insert, face, move. But actually I use it so much that I've added it to my toolbars as a shortcut. To do that, we can go up here to this search box, click on the drop down and make sure we are on commands, and then just start to type in move, so we can find move face. But instead of just clicking on it to open it, let's left click and drag it and put it somewhere on the command manager, somewhere like here. And we've now created a shortcut to that tool that we can use anytime. And then I'm gonna left click on that move face to actually open that tool. So here on the left, we've got a selection box. At the top, like we have with a lot of different tools, and we've also got 3 different options. So we've got offset, translate and rotate. Let's have a look at the first one, which is offset. So if we choose this and then we select a face, like this one, we've got an offset distance of 10mm selected. So we're just going to offset that face outwards by 10mm. And for example, I can select different faces like this, and in this way we can increase the overall size of the bar. We can also flip the direction if we want to offset in the other direction and make the bar smaller. And we can do that just by pressing flip direction down here. So if we wanted to make it smaller, it would look something like this. So that's the basic offset feature. I'm just going to delete that feature so we can have a look at another way to use it. It's also really useful for adjusting the sizes of holes. So for example, if we wanted to make this hole bigger or smaller, if we made this part in Solidworks, we could just adjust the hole size directly. But because we don't have that feature, we can't do that. So we could maybe fill it in manually and then recut in different size hole. But we can actually just use the offset face instead. To do this, we can just choose the inside face, and then we can set the offset distance that we want. We can see on the preview nothing has happened. That's because the offset that's currently set 10mm is too large for this hole. So let's change that distance to say 2. And now we can see the preview. So that will make the hole 2mm smaller. And if we flip the direction, it will make the hole 2mm bigger. So we could say, let's make it smaller like this. And we've now just easily and very quickly reduced the size of that hole. So the next option, if I go back to the move face command, is the translate. That allows us to translate or move faces in different directions. So let's choose any face, say this one. And then we can just move it using these arrows in any direction. We can also directly write in the translation amount down here on the left. So we can translate in X, Y or Z. If we are not sure in our direction that we are going in, we can look at this little triad, or we can just pull the actual face using those orange arrows in the graphics area. So the translate can be really useful. Say for example, we wanted to make this whole bracket longer, but we wanted to keep that hole in the same place relative to the left hand side of the bar. We could actually select all of these edges, including the curved edges. And we could translate out to the side, just say for example like this. We can also set end conditions here on the left, so we can do things like up the face. Using this box here, we can also set a specific direction for the translation. If we don't want to go in the X, Y or Z direction, we can click in this box and then we can select an edge. Say if we wanted to make the translation at an angle. And then I'm just going to delete the offset feature so we can have a look at the final option, the rotate option. So if I open the tool again and choose rotate this time, and then I'm gonna select, say, the top face. So again, we can rotate in the X, Y or Z direction using a number of degrees. We can also set the rotation point. If we select the face, the point selected will automatically be at the center of that face, but we can move it manually. We can also drag our rotation around using the circular sliders here in the graphics area. And we can do a combination of different angles. So we can make sort of a composite angle like this. As well as moving where the rotation point is, we can also click in this box here on the left, and then we can choose a specific axis of rotation. So we can choose, for example, an axis or an edge. So for example, I could choose this edge here, and then we're just going to set an angular amount to rotate the face around the edge that I've selected. So hopefully we can see that this tool, the Move Face tool, is quite a simple tool, but it can be very useful, especially when we've got these imported parts. Just one thing to note with this tool, we might have to have a little thing about our design intent. So, say for example, we had this part in an assembly, and it was mated to another part using a mate that was on the end face here. If we then use the Move Face command on this face, then the mate would still apply but to the new position of the face. So if we move this face inwards, then the actual position of our part in the assembly will change. And just to give another example of that, let's say on this part we wanted to add another hole. Somewhere like this. Let's make it 80mm from this end face. If we then later on decided that maybe this part on the left is too long, and we went back and we moved that face. If we created the Move Face feature before the hole feature, so if I got my Move Face again, select the face and move it inward, say 20mm, and then we drag back after the hole feature. The 80mm that we set for the hole will be from the new position of the face. So we can see the hole has sort of disappeared there, because it's right on the edge of the part here. So it's still 80mm from the face, but that face has now moved. So the position of the hole relative to where it was has moved as well. So that's probably a fairly obvious thing to say, but just to let us know that if we move faces, it can affect our other features if they are pointing to those faces as well. So that is the Move Face tool, a very useful one in both surface modeling and solid modeling. We can find it in the insert menu, on the face, and then move, or we can just put it as a shortcut directly onto our command manager. We can use it to offset things, which is move them outwards or inwards, including holes. We can also use it to translate, which is move things in X, Y, or Z directions or any specified direction. And we can also use it to rotate faces. So it's a very useful little tool, that one. In the next video, we're actually gonna start using some surfacing to make a surface model. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you like. I hope it can be a little helpful and useful.